We can't use. You can't use hashtag Digibonus unless we have a Digibonus.
Yeah, all right. Well, look, I own the rights. Okay, I can say it whenever I damn well please. So there you go.
1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to Punks Talk Wrestling. On this episode, we got wolf dogs on choppers, an unexpected triple threat for the women's title, the heel turn we all knew was coming, but still never saw it coming. And we ask you to give us what we want by telling us to give us what we want. Hashtag give us what we want as we dive headfirst into NXT Vengeance Day 2024. I am RW Heelborn, one half of your Punks Talk Wrestling Tag Team Champion hosts of the world, hailing quote unquote from Philly, and always virtually by my side, 3,500 miles away in London, England. He is my tag team podcast partner. He is a beautiful Barmy, a sodden Scarpa, a naughty Nausea, and always a proper prick, CJ Newman!
Oh my god. Okay. We'll get to that in a second. Did you know that the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament has been going since 2015? There have only been 8 years that it's been active. It's not been active every year. 2015, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and then 24. And in a few years, we've had female ones as well, which we didn't have this year. But my question to you is, who was the first ever winners of the Dusty Cup?
I know one of them was the God King Samoa Joe. But I can't remember at this moment who his tag team partner was. But I'm right about I'm right about
You're
that.
right about
right?
one. You're 50% correct.
It wasn't Samoa Joe and Adam Cole, was it?
No.
Samoa Joe and Baron Corbin?
No.
No, that would have been really. I'm trying to picture it. I'm trying to reach back into the depths.
2015. It's 9 years ago, which is fucked
9
up
years ago.
in itself.
Holy shit! 9 years ago.
Yeah.
9 years ago was the 2015 Royal Rumble where Roman Reigns won and then it had his hand shook by The Rock at the end and were booed out of Philly. Samoa Joe and somebody else.
Correct.
All right, I got it.
There you
yes.
go. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, it was Finn Balor.
Oh, there it was. There it was.
It was Finn Balor.
Samoa Joe and Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I will be remiss if I don't go back and so before the intro, I gave RW here 3 slang words, British slang words to use in the intro, but without telling him what they actually meant. Now, can you remind me of those words real quickly? And in the context that you used them?
Yes. It was the beautiful Barmy.
The beautiful Barmy.
A sodding Scarper. And a naughty Nosher.
Right, so the Scarper means to run away.
Okay.
Completely
incorrect usage.
Completely incorrect use. Naughty Nosher, maybe. So nosh is food.
Mm-hmm.
Naughty is just kind of like, that's really good. That's naughty.
So what? So nosh is food. So a nosher,
I guess it's someone that eats food.
But that's not even a nosher is not really a word.
No, I said nosh. So
yeah, nosh is a word.
Yeah,
but nosher is not even a word.
And barmy means to like get quite mad and angry.
Okay, so So
he's having a right balmy kind of thing.
So once again, not
None
correct.
Not really.
Incorrect usage of British slang.
I'm hoping one week you do use one of them correctly. 1 week.
I hope not. I hope I never do. I hope I get them wrong every time.
Week. I mean, it's definitely entertaining, even though it kind of hurts my little British feelings. But it's cool. I'm okay with getting my feelings hurt.
You're okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want any hashtags against me for this. I really don't need any death threats from British people.
You definitely don't want that. You wouldn't even understand what they're saying to you.
I wouldn't even know what it was. It'd be just.
What do you mean you're having a right balmy at me? What's going on?
All right, so I'm 3 for 3 on incorrect usages of not just incorrect, but like just completely making things up.
Making things up. Yeah.
What is sodding though? Sodding is a word, right? Or
sodding.
sod?
That's kind of like sodding is like this bloody thing, this sodding thing. A sod is just like an insult. You're a sod.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Maybe our listeners have learned something about British slang, especially the incorrect usage of it.
By the way, your intro for me is getting slower and slower every week.
Like, I know it's taking more and more time.
So dramatic.
I'm testing. I'm really testing my lung capacity. With the 35.
Yeah, the 35 miles away.
Getting that in one breath. Obviously, I'm pulling inspiration from certain places. You know, that's
from that is the New Day hip twizzling moment. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah,
yep, that is exactly where that comes. You know, when I pull the I am, that's obviously that's a pulling from the Carmelo Hayes I am him kind of thing.
Yeah.
Of course, tag team champion, host of the world is the DX.
New Age Outlaws. Yeah.
New Age Outlaws. All right. For anyone that might not have, caught on to
Figured
that.
all that shit out. Oh god damn.
Fuck. What happened?
No,
shit,
I'm good.
That sounds bad.
I'm good. My rug got so caught on my chair, and it was okay, but we're good.
You had the rug pulled out from you?
Yeah, I nearly pulled my rug out from underneath my own self. Yeah.
You've had that rug for like 2 years.
Yeah.
and you've known and like this whole time we've known that rug was going to stay.
Yeah, I mean it's still here. In fact,
it was going to fit. The rug was supposed to finish its job of being a rug, and then just out of the blue, it just gives away. It
gives away from underneath me. Yeah,
it gives away its entire existence like that.
But it's still here, though. It's still here.
Was there a pebble underneath that rug? Did you find?
Oh man, way to force it, but it was good though. I liked it.
Hey man, I think for not being good on being on my feet, I think that was pretty good. Plus, you know what? I can edit it in post. I can make it even better in post if I want. Hell, I could record a whole bunch of other shit that you don't even know about, and then you'll just find out about it in post. Could be a new segment. Could be a new segment of Punks Talk Wrestling called "Chris Finds Out What the Fuck I Did in Post."
We should do a podcast. We should do a bonus podcast where we do commentary on the podcast. That would really things,
dude, that would be great. If we did, we should do a live watch along
or live listen along.
A live listen along. Well, no, we'll do a live watch along. We'll do a video. We'll do our first video watch along. Should be a live watch along, a live video watch along of us just listening to our own podcast.
To the first ever episode.
Oh, dude, a live watch. Oh my God. That actually would be extremely entertaining for us.
Yeah.
Probably
not so much.
Probably
for
the
other people.
least entertaining for anyone else.
Yeah, pretty much.
If anybody wants, our very first, our pilot episode of Punks Talk Wrestling 6 months ago. By the way, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. It's technically over 6 months ago because the first episode came out 6 months ago, but the one we did before that, episode was the
pilot
before.
episode. Yeah, we don't really count the pilot episode.
No, that was week 0.
Because the pilot you cannot find the pilot episode on your favorite streaming platforms. The only place that you will ever find episode 0, the Punks Talk Wrestling pilot, is on our Patreon at patreon.com/punkstalkwrestling.
Right? All 3
It
hours
is still
of
there.
it.
3 hours. It's like 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah,
or
completely unedited.
Completely unedited.
Going in dry.
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just the driest. But if you want to get a glimpse of the story of this podcast from a podcast that didn't have any episodes
to now having 26
to a top 1% podcast, patreon.com/punkstalkwrestling. And they're all free. All the uncut episodes, they're up there for free. You don't have to pay for them because we don't want anyone to have to pay to suffer.
It would be kind of shit, right, if we were charging people for no work.
It would be. It really would.
Yeah.
It would be kind of
Yeah, you get a completely edited version for nothing.
right. And I think we would probably get the same amount of money if we charged people for it than if we just gave it away for free.
Probably. Yeah.
And then people that want to hear it. Plus, there's all sorts of other shit that we get into in our unedited episodes of the podcast.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more snark. There's a little bit more some of the things that don't pertain to the actual episode that we're talking about.
You can hear us go for toilet breaks.
But there's a couple diamonds in the rough there.
Yeah.
Those of you who want to put in the work to listen to the least amount of work, find some gems, and maybe we'll put a couple of those. We try to use those as clips too, stuff that gets cut out.
Yeah,
we'll use as clips on our the Instagram Reels, which CJ Newman here, the God King of Instagram Reels in the Punks Talk Wrestling community.
Do my best.
Your best is phenomenal.
Well, thanks.
Absolutely.
And we got a king of threads over here.
I'm the king of thread. Yes, for our fans on Threads and followers, I'm in full control of the threads. So anything you see comes from me. But with the express written acceptance of my podcast partner, usually. So there's that. You can also see all these pauses and stumbles on our Patreon. But if you don't want any water, if you don't want any bread, you just want nothing but meat. As our missing, I'm gonna do that whole thing again. I'm gonna have to edit that out. I don't even. You know what? I'm just gonna drop it. I'm just gonna drop the whole thing. I don't need to go back and do it again.
Meat
I'll either
and
cut it or not.
potatoes.
Yeah. Well, I was going for a Booker T Braun Breaker.
Nothing but meat thing.
The podcast that you are hearing right now on your favorite streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever it is. All you're gonna get here, you're not gonna get any bread. You're not gonna get any water. The only thing you're gonna get is I still do it wrong. I can't do it. I can't do it the way Booker T does it, so I'm not even gonna try.
I don't think anyone could ever do that. Booker T does it, but
just shout out to Booker T. Hope he gets better. Hope he recovers soon. We absolutely missed hearing his voice on NXT Judgment Day. NXT Vengeance Day. Oh my God! You know what else we missed out on?
what's that?
NXT Vengeance Day. You should have had R-Truth show up for NXT Vengeance Day thinking it was the Judgment Day pay-per-view.
Yeah, that would have been brilliant.
You dropped the ball. I understand there's been a lot going on lately.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's been a few things, and we get it. Totally get it, because it's been a crazy week. It's been an insane a few days. There are a number of people who are vocally, visibly disappointed, and we over something that happened last week, because last week they were expecting something.
Didn't quite get what they wanted, did they?
They didn't quite get what they wanted. They were expecting a certain thing to happen, and last week it was completely, they didn't get what they wanted. There were two things specifically that you have been led to believe were going to happen, and it didn't happen.
And you'd be just deprived of them. Deprived.
On last week's episode, there was no Icebreaker's Ice Cube gum, and there also was no
satisfying
generic raspberry lime seltzer from Giant. And we are sorry. We're so sorry. We apologize. We saw the hashtags. We saw the We Want seltzer. We saw We Want Icebreakers.
I need to get me some seltzer, you know.
You really do.
From
Really do.
from my local Lidl.
Oh, you have Lidl over there?
Yeah, man.
I didn't know they were an international grocery store.
They're very European. They're like all over Europe.
Is that? Oh, now it all makes sense now.
They're from Germany originally. Aldi and Lidl are both European companies, but they're in the UK. Yeah, there's shitloads in the UK. They are so cheap, cheap and so good. So it's great.
Oh no! Did you hear that?
I heard that.
It's
been a little while, hasn't it?
I can't believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? You're not going to believe this, but I just received a DM from the anonymous podcast critic.
My best friend.
It's no surprise that the internet, that this anonymous podcast critic has come back, considering all that's been going on. But it says, and I quote, "On last week's episode, you incorrectly referred to Valhalla's headdress as horns, when actually they're antlers." And then right underneath it just says hashtag We Want Antlers.
Is that right? Okay, cool.
I mean, they're right. I was about to say he's right, but I don't know. I don't know who this is. We don't know.
That's why they're anonymous, you know.
That's why they're not. Obviously, they don't. Obviously, they are too cowardly to just have a profile with a picture.
That's right. Yeah.
But I gotta give it. I mean, sometimes
we're wrong, and that's okay. Some people, and you know. But hey, we're cool punks talk wrestling. We're not punks talk
antlers.
We're not punks talk.
We're not punks talk headdresses. Sometimes we get caught up. Sometimes we get caught up in the moment.
I will say though, earlier this week, the anonymous podcast critic did comment on one of our posts on Instagram, and after obviously taking the piss about my chesty cough,
I saw them sleeking around.
To which I by the way have gone over because I haven't. Yeah,
I'm happy to hear that. Happy to hear
breathe.
Hashtag chesty cough is gone.
Breathing easy.
Yeah,
I sound like gold dust then. He actually said something that I actually agree with for once. Yeah.
No.
He said
No.
I agree
No.
with. Yeah.
No.
He did.
No. No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah,
No.
Do you want to hear it?
I don't want to hear it. I'm taking my headphones off. I don't want to hear it. You can say what you say. I'm not going to listen to it until post.
They have a superior intellect in all things wrestling, including antlers. Said Yeah.
That's
even
a stretch.
I am lost on the IWC's level of heel turn on that main event. Cody Rhodes will be fine. Rock versus Roman is a generational match.
I can't. I don't believe it. I mean, I didn't not listen. I said I wasn't going to listen.
But the original comment was like, I don't know who put over their opposition better, Cody putting over The Rock or it's Chris Newman putting over a chesty cough.
see, that's pretty funny. Fuck. I hate to give it to... See? I said I wasn't going to listen.
But yeah,
but
but he's still a dick.
Of course I listened.
And, yeah.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? There are things that we can actually...
Sometimes you might have things in common with the people you don't think you do.
It's surprising.
Yeah.
It is surprising what you can learn.
Yeah.
When you take a moment, when you take a step back. When you breathe. See, now hashtag no more chesty cough. You can breathe. Everybody needs maybe the IWC just has a real bad case of chesty cough.
Chesty cough, yeah. They need to just get some cough syrup and some antibiotics, and you'll be good as rain. Good right as rain. That one.
hashtag no more chesty cough.
There you go.
Well, there you go. See, even someone who you think you have nothing in common with, who you have no idea, even people posting anonymously on the internet, they're not always your enemy, and they're not always wrong. They may have some differing opinions, and sometimes
a
they have
different opinion
opinions
isn't
that
a wrong opinion. It's just a
you
different
may find
opinion.
if you give it time, if you give it some time. I mean, we'll see from the last time, it's been, like we said, it's been a long time since we heard directly from the anonymous podcast critic. And the last time they seemed to be a little more, more civil.
New year.
I mean, it's still critical.
Huh?
Still a critic.
Yeah, maybe they're nice now.
New year, new anonymous podcast critic. Yeah. See, criticism doesn't even have to be negative. It could just be,
I mean, they could be constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism. There we go. Hashtag we want constructive criticism.
He gives constructive criticism, but not without putting himself over first, because obviously.
Again, wait. Okay. Oh shit. Oh, again? Really? Again? Right? Yeah, how's he doing that? We're recording this live. Wait a second. The anonymous podcast critic could be.
Is it Triple H?
Is the anonymous podcast critic actually Triple H?
Okay, what did they say this time?
Yeah, we just got another DM. From the anonymous podcast critic while we're talking about the anonymous podcast critic. And it says, and I quote, "Yes, I do have superior intellect on all things professional wrestling. Hashtag never forget my superior intellect in all things professional wrestling."
That's a long hashtag.
That's a really long hashtag. I mean, you might want to.
I think one day put to the test your superior intellect against myself, Mr. Didyaknow, right here.
Hashtag did you know?
If this person, this anonymous dickhole, wants to
Whoa!
What?
I mean, I know you're a proper prick and all, but let's lead by example. Let's lead by example here, buddy.
Yeah,
I mean, I know we're all hot. We're all hot. Everybody's really hot.
Everyone's a bit heated, right? If this anonymous person wants to put their wrestling intellect to the test, then come at me. Come at me, bro, as they say, right? As they said, like
hashtag come at me, bro.
Yeah, that's a really old term from like 8 years ago.
Is this a proper prick open intellect challenge?
This is an open intellect challenge, and I challenge this person to you can write the quiz, you can write the questions, and if this person wants to show their face, reveal their voice, whatever they want, then they're free to come on the pod, and we can battle it out there and then. An open challenge. You're damn
from
right.
From the proper prick, CJ Newman, one half of the greatest tag team champion hosts of the world, and the anonymous podcast critic, whomever they may be, for the superior intellect in all things professional wrestling award.
That's right.
CJ Newman, the Punks Talk Wrestling Superior Intellect Champion.
Okay. I like that.
I mean that has a pretty good ring.
It does have a good ring to it. Okay, cool. Okay, so there goes the challenge. And if you wanna face me, but Superior Intellect Championship, I need to work on my promos.
Open challenge. Need to work on my promos. I clearly haven't been to promo class. We'll figure out exactly how we want to word it.
Yeah, but you need to write some questions. If this person wants to come on the pod, we can disguise their voice. If they want to reveal their actual voice,
we'll allow you to retain your anonymity.
Yeah, but
so that you don't feel, threatened in any way. Triple H, if you want to call in and disguise your voice with head on over to the warehouse, grab the voice box that the voice thing that Kane used to use, and get on and come on the pod.
Yeah.
Let's see if you are who you say you are, and actually do have the superior intellect in all things professional wrestling. See if you can become the inaugural Punks Talk Wrestling Superior Intellect in all things wrestling champion.
That name keeps changing. But anyway,
we'll figure it
out. Challenge is down. Get back to us. And if you wonder, if you think you're smart, which of course he's going to come back to us. But I'm sure he'll have I'm sure he'll have his own terms and conditions, because he always does. So, all right, that's where I'm leaving it.
I think we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop right here.
Okay.
Because we have to reel back. We have to breathe.
We got a whole fucking show to get into right here.
We may have to talk to our lawyers about this. We may need to have some prepared statements. We may need to have a press conference for this. There's a lot of things.
It's on.
There's a lot of things.
Like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
That's already a hashtag that has nothing to do with wrestling. All right. Yeah. All right.
The gauntlet has been laid. The line has been put in the sand. What's it? How's that go? Something about the line in the sand.
The die has been cast?
No, I was trying to sing the Evolution theme song. Something about a line in the sand. Trying to find out who I am.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you want some time for me to edit this out? You want to look it up real quick and then?
Nah, it's fine. Everyone knows what I meant.
They should. They hope so. And if you don't, look up the Evolution theme song. It's by Motorhead.
I don't know why you're listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
And
with that,
all right.
How's about we talk about NXT Vengeance Day 2024?
Hashtag how's about we talk about.
This was... So I actually have the attendance. The attendance is not on the Wikipedia page, but...
Really? You are right. It is not on the Wikipedia page.
I have the attendance. So it was at the F&M Bank Arena in Clarksville, Tennessee. And it was an attendance of 3,970 people.
No, that's a 3,000, almost 4,000 for an NXT on the road event.
Yeah, nice filled out arena. I liked it. I dug the fact that it looked nice and full.
I know, yeah, and I know we heard there were several NXT superstars who also made the mention of just being this is for some of them the first time for them performing as an NXT within NXT in an arena that size.
Yeah. Actually, I will say as a caveat to this entire review of this show, because I just felt it a few times during the night. This was the first NXT pay-per-view, a premium live event, since the takeovers that I've felt like I really feel like NXT is back. Does that make sense? Like, I just felt like, I don't know. You know what it is? It's the roster. It's the vibe. It's I feel like they've now fully recovered from that kind of NXT 2.0 revival, which kind of fell
which needed to happen. Which
needed to happen, but I think it happened with not much direction, and I just think it was like, I'm when something rebrands and changes, I'm always open to it. I just think that once the rebranding happened and they got a bad response, and when I mean bad response, I don't mean the weirdos having a bad responses. I mean just it generally had a bad response, and I think after that they struggled to find their identity a bit because they were trying to be both NXT 2.0 and NXT Black and Gold at the same time. Now they finally, I think now what they have is a mix of the two, which works perfectly. Anyway, getting back to this event.
Yeah, before we get to the first match though, we've got Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett on commentary. We've got Marcelo Rodriguez and Jerry Soto on Spanish commentators.
Yep.
Alicia Taylor for the ring announcer. Adrian Butler, Chip Danning, Dallas Irvin, Derek Sanders, Felix Fernandez, and Jeremy Marcus as the referees for this event. Kelly Kincaid as the interviewer, and we've got Megan Morant, Matt Camp, and Sam Roberts in the pre-show panel, which again we never get to see.
Yeah.
So let's
straight into the first match. We've got Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, the Wolf Dogs,
Wolf Dogs
versus Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams.
I loved the entrance. I loved Braun Breaker coming out on his own motorcycle, and Baron Corbin being like, kind of like, come on, man, that's my thing, but also, fuck, that's cool.
It gave me proper Road Warriors vibes from from SummerSlam '92. They came down on Harleys, if you remember that. Dude,
yeah, give us, and they're such a good team.
They actually are a really good team. Yeah,
they are a great team, and I know I'm guessing I heard rumors or whatever. I heard something that they were pushing Braun Breaker already up to SmackDown. Is that actually?
It seems like he's he was on SmackDown, and I haven't fully watched Raw yet, but I think I heard that he was on Raw. He kind of just appeared in the Adam Pearce's office, so I guess he's deciding which show he's going to be signing up to.
Okay, they're playing a little who's going to get
who's going to get Braun,
all these up and coming, which I love. I love all that stuff too.
Yeah, it's really cool. Instead of them just, I kind of like that actually. Instead of them just showing up on a show one week, it's like you actually see them trying to decide what show they want to sign with. It's kind of them like deciding their future kind of thing.
And see, this is when it comes to never knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I was certain that when I heard about them bringing Braun Breaker up to the main roster, I'm like, oh well, I guess that's the end of the Wolf Dogs. They're going to lose to Carmelo and Trick. But that was not the case. That was not the case at all.
Yeah.
I got worked. I certainly got worked. I certainly got worked by that match. I certainly got worked by a lot of things in this event. But goddamn, that was a good tag team. Just aside, all the storylines aside, the match itself was an excellent match.
Yeah, I'd say, this match is probably up there as one of my favorites of the night. Like, coming off of, Royal Rumble with Braun Breaker's performance in the Royal Rumble, which I was so impressed with. I'm not saying that I wasn't impressed with Braun before, but I don't know. Obviously, him being in front of a crowd like that for the first time in his entire career, I think it really just set... If that's what he's going to be like on the main roster, because I feel like he feeds off the energy of a crowd. And I could see huge things from him in the future, man. I never, it's not like I never understood the hype for Braun. I did, but now I really do. I think I really do understand the hype behind Braun Breaker.
But yeah, the continuation of the story of Trick having to pull double duty. Carmelo once again accidentally injuring Trick at his knee. You saw his knee was worked on a little bit throughout the match.
Yeah.
Carmelo taking the spear, and losing,
the end.
And the pinfall,
was
totally unexpected.
Was really unexpected, and I don't know, so going into this, obviously, I had the inkling that there was going to be some sort of turn with Carmelo, and I think, obviously, we're doing a review here, so but. Like,
we've all been thinking that for a while.
We've been thinking that for a while, but this with that end of that match, it made me think, I actually kind of thought maybe they weren't going to be doing it. I really did think that somehow they were going to continue this story of the who attacked Trick, and it wasn't, and obviously none of us believed. I didn't believe it was Draganov ever that did it. That's the obvious play. I thought more of the story was. I thought the story was going to go a way of it's just Carmelo Hayes's insecure. This was always going to go. It was always going to become a Carmelo Hayes turn. Yeah. And spoiler alerts. We get that. Yeah. I think what's great is that the whole thing with Draganov before, blaming Draganov for attacking Trick, that was so long ago, and so much time has passed that at this point you're kind of thinking, oh well, maybe it wasn't. You kind of forget. Some people would forget. Some people would just go, oh well, that part of the story is now past. But it's obviously going to come out that it was Carmelo that did that.
It seems like it was, and again, it seems like they really were. It really did seem like they were pushing it in a different direction. Yeah. They were now Draganov. The way they worked it in. The way they worked it in with like the Draganov hugs for everybody.
Yeah.
And stuff. It was great. It was a great swerve.
Yeah.
You might. I was expecting them to just actually sweep it under the rug. I was expecting them to never find out who attacked Trick, and it was just going to be one of those things like, hey, we just drop that, and we're just not going to talk about it anymore. Because
we've seen that kind of thing before. But yeah, I'm glad that they clearly this was the plan all along. I almost feel like they knew what they were doing, and they were probably building for a Trick versus Carmelo match at Stand and Deliver. It kind of makes sense.
It does, but I really thought it was going to be Trick Williams, NXT champion, versus Carmelo. I really thought now again, those things could have changed with
that. With Carmelo
coming up.
I don't think it will happen, but there is one more PLE before Stand and Deliver. There's Roadblock. Now that won't be held in the NXT arena. It won't be held in an actual arena, but there is a chance that one of the two could win the NXT championship off of Draganov. I don't know. And also, I don't really know who you put Draganov up against now, really, especially at Stand and Deliver. But although I will get to that later because
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that at the end.
But there's a few things in that match that I definitely want to touch on. First of all, Braun does this weird inverted suplex where he lets go and then does a cutter, which I thought was the most insane fucking looking thing.
Dude, that was incredible.
Yeah, so cool. The other thing was Braun almost breaking his fucking neck on the top rope.
Holy shit.
Did you see that? Where he bounced off the rope too low and his head just fucking... It's almost like a computer glitch. Like his head clipped through the fucking rope.
It really, you're right. It really did look. It's like in the old in 2K. What was it? 2K20.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was the shit one. Yeah.
There was that. There was famous glitches, and I even have a video of a match me and my son were playing where we had it was the corner glitch. It you would get your character stuck in the corner, and you just couldn't get out.
But yeah, fucking great match. I'm really glad the Wolf Dogs got the win.
Wolf Dogs get a future NXT Tag Team Championship match.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see. I hope I'd love to see them as tag champions. I think there's still more. Yeah. There's more to be done with them.
Well, we've seen people like Dominic Mysterio do double duty. There's no reason why Braun can't either as well. Be on both NXT and whatever show he chooses.
Having him as one half of the NXT tag team champions, but also on SmackDown with the belt. Also, which means Baron Corbin can come with him.
Yeah.
And everybody loves seeing Baron Corbin. Everybody loves Baron Corbin.
Well, that would be a great way to reintroduce Corbin to the main roster.
Yeah.
Is have maybe, I don't know, you could easily have Braun Breaker I presume he's going to get over pretty quickly. I just feel like he will. And, get a beat down, and then Corbin could come to make the save. And then you could have a little tag team run on the main roster, and then you could have Baron Corbin turn on Breaker, and then you've got mega heel Corbin again, which is great.
Then you get because there's still more matches, because Corbin versus Braun Breaker, we've seen it in NXT, and it was excellent, and I want to see it again. I'll watch that match. I'll watch that match anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. Next up is Dijak and the slightly repackaged Joe Gacy.
Yeah.
In a no DQ match. The returning Dijak in his character after he came back to NXT from his time on the main roster as whatever he was in Retribution.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm gonna say the greatest thing ever for him. You don't care what anyone thinks about Retribution. Don't care about what anybody thinks about putting those guys in masks and having them whatever. That time period of them on the main roster being able to not be themselves, all that did was make all of them better.
Oh yeah.
And every single person who was in Retribution is better for it now. Aside from maybe when they had Mustafa Ali as their leader, that was really where the turn happened. That it didn't make much sense. If Retribution would have just been this roving gang of mercs, that just came at like cockroaches out of the cracks, and then finally just got ran off, that would have been fun. Whatever. Bottom line is, Dijak is the best he's ever been.
Oh yeah, this gimmick's great. It's this kind of this weird Sin City kind of gimmick.
Yeah. Yup. Yeah. Oh yeah, you caught that too.
Yeah.
I love seeing Joe Gacy outside of the schism thing was cool for a time.
It worked.
But you and I both talked about
briefly, but it just didn't quite hit the spot. But I just think,
and like it felt too much. It felt too much like they were trying to make a new Wyatt family.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's, not enough time. And I think there's a space for that in wrestling, but I think not enough time has passed yet for that to be rehashed.
Yeah.
So having him by himself, I think, is a good idea. And like the gimmick that he's now slowly figuring out and portraying, it's something we haven't seen in a while. If you think about it, it's kind of like Mankind, Al Snow kind of
That's
thing.
Exactly where I was going with that. I watched it, and there were definitely some nods to Bray Wyatt with his upside down in the corner.
Yeah, for sure, which is great. A little nod like that's brilliant.
But I think that's what's important was allowing him to slowly progress into this insanity character, into this. The Mankind Mick Foley angle is really more spot on because he's now the resilient, like it's the beat me up as much as you want. Well, I keep coming back.
So this is one of my notes I had. It basically one thing that the WWE has been missing for quite some time. Not that it needs it, but one thing it's been missing is like that hardcore guy. The guy that doesn't have any problem throwing himself at stuff.
Yeah.
And they are an entertaining person to have in a roster. Now, I don't know if you know about Joe Gacy's history before he was in the WWE.
I know nothing about it.
Cool.
I know nothing about him.
Before he was in the WWE, he was I can't remember his actual ring name, but he was in CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling. Now,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, if you don't know about Combat Zone Wrestling, basically if you ever go on Instagram and see those absolutely insane spots where people are going through glass and fucking barbed wire, whatever.
Oh yeah, well that's
CZW
is out of New Jersey. CZW,
right.
Yeah, that's right. That's basically in the backyard. There's a number of those in our area because they're the children of ECW. You know, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
GCW is the same. GCW is exactly the same. And I think they're a little more New York, up towards New York more.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've never been to either one of those an event from either one of those promotions.
Yeah.
But I would like to go and see them, and who knows, there may be an opportunity. I'm sure they're going to have their own events.
They'll definitely have their own event
Wrestlemania week, and maybe I don't know. I have no idea. We'll keep an eye on that because it would be great. It would really be good, I think, to have some Punks Talk Wrestling presence be known, especially in more of the hometown areas.
Oh,
and
definitely.
That has been one of my sort of not necessarily New Year's resolution, but it's one of the things that I've wanted to get back into is seeing some more indie promotions, especially the stuff that's in our area, in my area.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, great fucking. I mean, it was an amazing no DQ match. The setup wasn't for great. The frickin' the toys on the table.
Yeah.
spot. I mean,
mental.
Classic, wonderful.
Yeah.
The pop for that was just great.
Yeah.
And the spot and how it happened, holy shit, was almost a little too scary because Dijak, it looked like he was a little off center.
He was off center, and it's like almost like he struggled to reach the table there. It was quite
I think
far.
it was almost like it was a little too far back. I think, or maybe it was a little farther back than they knew.
Yeah,
there was a slight miss during the trash can spot where Gacy threw Dijak off from the turnbuckle
he
and
missed the trash can.
Completely missed the trash can.
Yeah.
But the announcers sold it real well. They're like, thank God he missed it. If he would have hit that, it would have been over.
Yeah, yeah.
So like
that's the best way to go about it, basically.
Best way to go about
There's something happened in the match. I don't know if you noticed this, but there was a spot early in the match where Gacy, I think Dijak was up by the barrier and Gacy kind of like did like a front flip off of the steps onto Dijak. He fucking kicked a woman in the face.
Oh shit! Did he? I wasn't sure if he actually hit somebody or not.
Yeah, so she was wearing glasses and then she wasn't. And it seems like her glasses went down into the rampway because I saw it and then I couldn't take my eyes off of her because I was like, oh fuck, is she gonna like cause a scene or whatever? And but she was okay and she was just kind of trying to get someone's attention to get her glasses back because she had to guess she couldn't see fucking anything.
Right, I want to see them out.
Yeah, but once she got the glasses, she was like cool. She was like, she kept touching her lip. I guess she got like booted in the lip, but she didn't seem to care. So props to that lady.
Anyway, Dijak defeated Joe Gacy in 11 minutes and 56 seconds.
To a smiling Joe Gacy after he lost.
Exactly, which again puts Gacy over.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the D'Angelo family. Tony D'Angelo, Channing, Stax Lorenzo, and Adriana Rizzo. Defeating OTM, Lucien Price, Bronco Nima, and Jada Parker with scripts via pinfall in 10 minutes and 11 seconds in a 6-person mixed tag match.
Yep.
Next up is Lyra. It was a good match. It was
okay. I won't lie to you. Like, I really couldn't. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't pay attention to this match.
It was a little bit of a. Well, because they're not the main story. They're not the main story here.
I think it's that, but also like Channing Lorenzo and Tony D'Angelo are very good, but
absolutely, excellent. No, they are great.
They're great.
Characters are great.
And
their
they're the
character
tag team
work,
champions.
The
of course,
mic
they're
work.
great. But
of course, they're great.
the other 4 people in this match are very, very new, and I think this was probably for all of them, like, if not the first, one of the first arena matches they've probably ever had in front of that many people. So nerves were definitely on the plate, and it wasn't by no means a bad match, but I certainly, of the card that we got, one of the least entertaining matches on the card. So it is what it is. I got no much notes for it apart from the fact, well, apart from everything I've just said, really. It is what it was. It happened. Nothing bad about it. It was the match that I was the least invested. Yeah. What I'm really grateful for is same. Was least invested for this match, and obviously not my favorite one coming out of the event, but I'm really glad that they actually went through the effort to throw together a video package for this match as well. It really,
props to that, yes.
Yeah, because
props to the backstory, the storyline, and the video montages of all that stuff.
It's so good.
That stuff's beautiful.
There's going to be a lot of people watching this PLE that don't normally tune into NXT every week, and I'm one of those people included. I keep up with NXT, but I can't quite manage to watch it every week. And with a having a kind of B tier story given a video package, it really helped me understand these characters and who they are. So
I know exactly. I know who you are, and I know why you're angry at each other.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's helpful. Yeah.
And like I said, it was a great match. It was a great match for what it was.
Yeah.
Mixed tag matches always kind of have a little bit of
disjointed.
Also, shout out to relatively new Adriana Rizzo. Mainly, she did great. She did great in the ring, and the only professional wrestler to have the same name as my wife.
I swear to God,
spelled the same way too.
I was watching yesterday, and when she got announced, the exact same thought crossed my mind. I was like, I think this is the first ever Adriana I've ever known in professional wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Italian too.
Yeah. There you go.
Next up, we've got the women's championship match: Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, which turned into versus Lola Vice.
Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez ended with Lyra Valkyria pinning Lola Vice.
Yeah.
That was story. That was more story, and we're going to see more from. We're going to see more. The new Roxanne Perez, the returning Roxanne Perez, now has even more fuel. Yeah. Because she never got pinned she never lost the championship. Now she wasn't even the one that was defeated in the match. So she's got 2 chips on her shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was excellent the way they played how they played Lola into it, using her contract and then creating the triple threat. We love that. We always love that. And then getting the loss. Well, that's so. I think it was good for. I think that was perfect for everybody.
Oh yeah.
It keeps Lyra. It keeps Lyra strong in a way. It keeps the title on her, which I think she has more to tell with that.
Yeah, she does. I could see her. I don't know who against, but I could see her possibly dropping it at Stand and Deliver. Be a good time, maybe. Next match. North American Championship.
Oh, 13 minutes and 30 seconds was the total time.
Oh, there you go.
For that championship match turned triple threat. And it was great. It was excellent. All right. Yeah, next up.
Oba Femi versus Dragon Lee for the North American Championship.
Yes. Now, here's the other breakout tournament winner.
Yeah. Who
cashed it in and on Dragon Lee, right? It was Dragon Lee who...
Was it on Dragon Lee?
Yeah, he won the title by defeating Dragon Lee in his NXT Breakout Tournament contract cash-in on January 9th, 2024 episode.
Yeah, what a dude, huh?
Big effing dude.
doing big effing dude stuff. I mean, what do you want to say about it? It was. I like Dragon Lee just fine.
Yeah, one thing I have noticed with Dragon Lee is that he, if you remember, there was a little brief words. I'm sometimes good at them. There was a little brief period where he was on the main roster for a little while, and I feel like he was up there, and it just fell on deaf ears. And we were saying that too, that it just didn't work.
It really did. Well, and because there was that whole thing with Rey Mysterio pushing him as the future of Lucha Libre.
Which, again, felt quite forced as well.
It was, yeah.
It's
just nothing against the guy. I mean, his in-ring work is excellent. He's great, but I just don't care. He's not. I don't know who Dragon Lee actually appeals to. Like, I don't understand who the Dragon Lee fan is, or if there are Dragon Lee fans. Like, it doesn't, for whatever reason, it's just not resonating in any way. Like, he doesn't seem like he could credibly win anything, which he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. It's a weird thing because, like, he's not sports entertaining enough yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's definitely a wrestler, and he's good at that.
And maybe that's what it is. That's really what it is.
He's not. He needs to flesh out his character, because right now there is no character. He's just a guy with a mask.
Yeah. He's just unfortunately, yeah. I feel like that's the rut he is kind of stuck in. He doesn't have a character. He's not a character. He's just a wrestler in a mask.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't do it for me. Yeah. Like it doesn't do it for me.
But obviously they noticed that and pulled him back off of the main roster.
Yeah,
because he hasn't been on there for a while, and that's probably the best thing for him.
And maybe this is exactly what he'll need, is some sort of a turn.
Yeah.
Or maybe, who knows, man? Maybe we tie the whole Dragon Lee, the future of Lucha Libre, as touted by Rey Mysterio, into a Dragon Lee heel turn when Rey Mysterio returns from injury.
Yeah, that could work.
You know, have Dragon Lee's side with El Gato. El Gato is the Stream Deck. Shout out to El Gato and the Stream Deck that I use. Legato de Fantasma. Let's put Dragon Lee on the heel team and see what happens. Give me a Dragon Lee who's ticked off at where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, having a chip on your shoulder is the easiest way to change your character.
We've mentioned it before, but there's so many characters out there, or people out there, wrestlers out there, that have benefited from turning heel.
Yes, you're right. And not only that, you said you had it at, there's so many other characters out there right now.
Yeah.
WWE and NXT is so full of the best fucking talent in the world right now.
Yeah.
At all levels, that he's just getting lost. He's just getting lost in the shuffle. And
exactly.
And I don't want that. I don't want that for him. I want to see Dragon Lee have a story.
Yeah. I also feel like now
have a story to finish. You can't finish a story if you don't even have a story to begin with.
Dragon Lee has always been his match on the indies, and it's surprising because normally when they sign someone, they normally change their name if they're not too big of a wrestler already. Yeah. It's not like you're signing AJ Styles. But, like, I don't know if I like the name either. It's a bit hokey. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. But I just don't know if I'm too keen.
He doesn't seem to be doing any... Well, here's the thing. He's not doing anything that makes me think Dragon.
Yeah.
Also, we've got Ilya Dragunov, the fucking Russian dragon or whatever they call him, the bad dragon.
Yeah.
So you've got another dragon. And that was his problem with Dragon Lee versus Wesley. You've got another guy with the last name Lee.
Yeah, it's true. Actually,
You've got other people with using
Dragon
both
and
parts
Lee.
of and they're both doing stuff that's better. They're both in stories. Maybe that's exactly what he needs. Maybe he needs a change of character, a change of name.
It works for everyone. It worked for it worked for Dominic Mysterio. If you look back, it worked for Edge to turn heel. It worked for John Cena to turn heel.
Absolutely.
All these massive characters. It worked for them to turn heel. For them turn them back to face again. They did it with Edge. They did it with Cena. Like, it works. Like, I feel like when you turn heel, you can really just you can embrace being an absolute dick.
You get to do, as a heel, you get to do things that as a baby face you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope to see more from him. I don't want to see him get future endeavored or whatever. Hashtag we want a story for Dragon Lee.
That's a really long hashtag. You might want to.
Hey man, long hashtags. Hey, the longer the hashtag, the more you have to type to make it something. Fuck yeah. Hashtag we want Dragon Lee is the point.
You're just stuck with that in the first place.
Yeah.
But here we are. The match itself, it was kind of like the tag match, better, but I wasn't.
It was a showcase. It was a showcase match for Oba Femi. It was to remind people that Oba Femi is the new NXT North American champion.
Yeah.
And this is the rematch that Dragon Lee lost. So that's done. We're not going to see Dragon Lee versus Oba Femi again because he lost the title and then he lost his rematch.
Exactly.
Hashtag we want heel Dragon Lee.
There you go. That's better. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
That's what we want.
Speaking of Dragon,
give me what I want, Sean. Give me what I want, Sean. Give me what I want,
Sean.
Give me what I want,
Sean.
Oh god, that doesn't get old. Every week,
it never does.
Yeah, just every week. It's great. It seems to be happening every week now too.
Yeah, because every week there's something that we want.
And I'm looking forward to, obviously I've never actually seen you do that, so I presume I'm going to see you do that when I come to Mania.
Right, because we're not even on video, so we're not on...
I'm only imagining what the fuck you're doing with your fucking face when you actually do it.
What was I about to say?
I have no idea. You said that we're
awesome. I don't know. We're fucking awesome.
Yeah,
10 minutes and 56 seconds of a good showcase match for Oba Femi. He's fucking big. He's powerful. He does big, powerful dude stuff. That's what you want. Anyway, moving on.
Moving onwards to the main event.
Ilya Draganov and a worn down, slightly injured second match of the night, Trick Williams.
This match was, in a weird way, really, really bloody.
Yeah.
Like, I think you had Dragonov's nose was bleeding and Trick's lip was bleeding, but by the end of the match, like, the ring that Matt was splattered with blood.
Which I think, obviously, his busted lip was not intentional.
No, of course not, yeah.
But it sure worked, Because it was the knee, the storyline was the knee injury. Because you saw it when he did the kip up, and then his knee was bothering him.
Yeah, in the first
and
match.
And then during the match, when Carmelo interjected himself between Ilya, and Ilya shoved him, hitting Trick's knee again.
Yeah, that was all part of the the work of the match. Yeah, exactly.
Throughout that match, I didn't know what was going to happen. I really, really thought. I thought this was going to be a Trick Williams wins the title, and then Carmelo turns on him.
Yeah.
And then we see Ilya Dragunov come to Raw and go after
Gunther, yeah. Although I do reckon that, like, as much as I think that will be the plan, I do think, and I still think that Dragunov's going to be the guy to take it off of Gunther. But I think in order to do that, you can't just bring him straight. Although you could have him come up and just imagine Dragonov's first match on the main roster is against Gunther, and he beats him in his debut. Like, if you don't know him, you will now, basically, kind of situation.
And imagine if that happened the night after WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, there's totally potential for that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, this the way they executed the turn here was fucking brilliant. I loved it, and the crowd were clearly distraught. And this is now, if you think about it, this is the modern day version of Ciampa and Gargano.
Oh yeah,
it's like the NXT 2.0 version of that.
Yup, in a sense, yeah. We never saw it coming and that was the other thing. I really think they did an excellent job. There were. Oh,
I'm good.
Yeah, there were some criticism. And now this is where I'll say this is an understandable kind of critique on. It came out of the blue, especially considering how much the things that happened earlier in the night. Like, why would he take the spear from Braun Breaker?
I guess the way you could look at it is that he obviously that's going to lead Trick into a false sense of security, thinking that Carmelo has his back.
And maybe also, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, and he also doesn't. Why would he want to win something with someone that he doesn't like? Do you know what I mean?
I see there, and this is why you have to take a few days to look at what happened and then think about what might happen next.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's the reason right there. Why would Carmelo do all those things that he did? It was to truly lull Trick Williams into that false sense that no, and you even heard it, like you even heard him in the back before that when he was like, yeah, man, when you took that spear, like for me,
yeah,
I knew it was, it wasn't a sloppy way. It was Carmelo Hayes specifically waiting until the moment that he knew, without a shadow of a doubt, Trick finally believed him again, and then he stabbed him in the back.
And if you think about it in the tag match too, Carmelo was the legal man. So if he had speared Trick, it would have had less consequence because then Carmelo could have just then attacked Braun. So it's like he was taking that spear because he wanted them to lose the match.
He wanted it to lose. Yeah, he knew exactly.
Yeah.
See, and that's the way you've got. That's why you need to take a little bit of time and evaluate what it was in the context of everything else going on.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Also, if you've never turned on your best friend before, nobody knows how that actually goes down and what goes through the mind of Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
But I love this heel. I love having a heel Carmelo Hayes again. I think you need. I think you need him to be a heel
as Carmelo Hayes, especially with his like the tag the him tagline.
Yeah.
It's like that's such a heelish thing to call yourself. So it's and then plus there's a lot to stand on here with this rivalry because Carmelo Hayes was like the golden boy of NXT. Like he was going to be, the next big thing, as he was kind of being built up that way.
Yeah.
And I feel and Trick was his essentially his sidekick. And now Trick has surpassed Carmelo in popularity, like by far.
Oh, yeah.
The crowd is and the only thing is and I love that actually, is that Carmelo is the guy with like loads of experience and history within the indies. Trick Williams, like you probably heard this in the commentary, Trick Williams decided to become a professional wrestler when he watched Kofi Kingston win the WWE Championship. That only happened, that's when he decided to become a wrestler.
Wow.
That was
I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, that's like 4 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how quickly he succeeded at this. He clearly set his mind to it and he's done it. And it's like, I think in a way with that, people can see themselves more in Trick because he's like almost like an everyday kind of guy. He's clearly new to this and we can kind of respect that. And the fact that he had a match with someone of the likes of Ilya Dragunov for how long was that match?
17 minutes and 58 seconds.
Yeah.
Just
Match.
a two count away from 18 minutes. The longest match of the night.
Yeah, and like to hold yourself with Dragunov in that ring as a newcomer.
Oh God, that match. The match was fucking. Again, the match itself was just phenomenal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There were so many times that I thought it was over.
Yeah.
And there were so many times that I thought Trick was going to win. I really thought Trick was going to win.
Yeah, same. I do. I you know, there's moments where you're like, you kind of like, I don't know if you do this because I've always done it. You know, do you kick out when people kick out?
Oh yeah, I jump. I jump.
Your body.
Yeah,
jolts,
I jump
right?
in my seat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it's like this weird thing when I really want someone to kick out, my shoulders move, like I kick out myself. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and it's like, and fucking, let's not like overlook Dragunov, man. Like every match this guy has is just, he's fucking intense. I don't think I've ever seen a guy as intense as him in a professional wrestling ring, and he seems to bleed in every fucking match, and the hard way as well. We're not talking John Moxley bleeding. We're talking like the guy just goes hard and busts his lip or his nose or something.
Yeah. Oh, because that was Dragonov's bloody nose is what brought a whole bunch of extra blood in there. Which, you know, again, probably that was the hard way. You know?
Oh, definitely the hard way. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Ain't no blades here.
Hashtag we want the hard way.
We want.
But yeah, once again, I mean, what else do you want to say? The story, there was more than just a match in that. There was the story. And some people are a little washy on exactly how, and like, yeah, man, not everything is squeaky clean. Not everything is exactly. But like I said, look for if you're unsure. Here's what I'd like. Here's what I'd like people to do the next time. This is an exercise. This is like a practice thing. The next time you're watching a match, and the match is over, and the match concludes, and the outcome is not what you expected, whether or not it's what you wanted or not, but it wasn't what you expected.
Yeah.
Go back a couple days later, take some time, and build in your own head a scenario with what you know of all of these things. Because this is the other thing that it takes someone who knows what's going on, who knows the storylines, to actually get all of those little things.
Yeah.
You know? If you just watched the match, if you just tuned in and just watched Ilya Dragunov and Trick Williams, you wouldn't understand why Carmelo turned on him in the end. It wouldn't make any sense. It didn't quite make sense for me either, but then like we talked about it and we kind of worked ourselves into a logical scenario of Carmelo he really wanted to hurt Trick.
Yeah.
He really wanted so it was the months and months of the uncertainty. It was it was him finally getting to that point of Trick truly trusted him again.
Yeah.
You can't turn on a guy. You can't turn on a guy when they already don't trust you. When they're
expecting it. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You've got to wait until essentially Carmelo gaslit Trick. That's
pretty much. Yeah.
He was gaslighting him for months on this.
Yeah.
And then it finally when he had the opportunity. Now, I don't know where they're going to go. I was expecting the turn sometime. I was expecting it a little differently. So now I have to wait and see where it goes from here. And I can't wait because the unexpected is something that's great with professional wrestling. Not exactly knowing, especially when there's so many things that we say we know it's going to happen. Like I have it just makes most logical sense to me. We talk about, you know, Roman beating Hogan's record. That's the story for me. That's the story I want to see finished. You want to know what I mentioned this before we started recording, but for the listeners, here's a story that no one's talking about. And that's The Rock shaking Roman Reigns' hand at the end of the 2015 Royal Rumble in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
9 years ago.
Yeah.
He shook Cody's hand exactly the same way.
Right, exactly.
As he shook Roman's hand
Yeah.
at the end of that. And it's not exactly the same. There's little tweaks here and there's little things there. But it is part of the whole thing. It is part of this.
Yeah.
And to reopen that wound in Philly again with the I mean, that was the first time that The Rock ever got booed. Since he was the People's Champ, The Rock got booed out of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about now. This is not Cody's story. This is Philadelphia's story. And if you know anything about Philly, when Philly doesn't get what it wants, even when it does get what it wants, Philly is volatile.
Yeah.
So they are playing everyone with this. They are playing so many different angles with this.
Yeah.
There's more than just, and they've even been sprinkling it in for months with everyone else co-opting Cody's finish the story. Drew's got a story, and Punk's got a story, and everybody's got a story.
Yeah.
Because it's all a story.
Yep.
Finish the story is a catchphrase from a scripted story.
Yeah, it is.
Don't forget that.
People
Let's
are
not
forgetting
forget
that, though. People are forgetting that. People are forgetting that the finish the story thing is not something that the crowd has come up with. It's something that Cody said in a promo like well over a year ago now. And it was pre-written. Finish the story was a scripted line. Yeah, yeah.
So it doesn't belong to Cody. Finish the story doesn't belong to Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
It's become
a meme at this point. That line has become a bit of a meme, and it's just like, look. So here's my stance on it. Now, obviously, it's crazy the difference thing a day makes, really. So we've had Cody Rhodes had this promo on Raw on SmackDown last week where he gave his match away essentially to The Rock. And obviously, in the days following, like, I don't know if you know this, but WWE broke a record on YouTube. Did you know about this?
I know they got the most disliked.
Yeah, that's what it is. They have the most disliked video in the history of YouTube. Think about that for a second.
Yes, exactly. This is expected. It was totally planned, totally expected, totally the reaction that they were going for.
Yeah.
And you can see it all online already.
Yeah.
Hundreds, numerous, I don't know the numbers, but there are many, 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 many people.
Yeah.
Some of which are brand new followers of Punk's Talk Wrestling on Threads. So shout out to all of our new fans on Threads, because as of this week alone, the Punk's Talk Wrestling Threads account more than tripled our followers.
Yeah.
Within a week's time.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Yeah, that's
tripled.
amazing.
Hashtag tripled.
Look, I don't want to be the guy that, well, fuck it, maybe I do want to be the guy. I am the guy who, I'm just happy to be here. I'm that guy, who's just happy to be here. And at the end of the day, I'm going to WrestleMania. We're going to WrestleMania. I don't give a fuck if it's Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. I don't give a fuck if it's Roman Reigns versus The Rock. I don't care if it's a triple threat. I don't care if there's 2 matches and they happen on each night. I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm here to enjoy this story because it's being told fucking well, and I'll be happy with either main event, regardless of what happens. We are going to get The Rock versus Roman Reigns. We are going to get the Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. When they will happen each, Who the fuck knows? But
well, one of them's at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but how about this? Why get your knickers in a twist, to bring in a British phrase? Why you get your knickers in a twist about a story when it's basically, scene one? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Why are you getting so... You don't go to the fucking cinema and watch the intro first scene of a movie and get yourself pissed off and riled up because you've already predetermined in your head exactly how the movie's going to end. You don't do that. No one does that.
Yeah.
You go to the movies and you wait till you watch the entire movie, and then at the end, then you go, oh, well, I thought that was a shit ending. Or,
yeah,
oh, that was amazing, And you know what the good thing is about wrestling? It's not a movie. It continues. After WrestleMania, the credits don't roll. Raw happens the next night, and it will.
That's another thing. That's a touching point when it comes to. There's all the talk about finish the story. Why is everybody so intent and so impatient? And why do they want to finish a story immediately?
Yeah.
Because then the story's over.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do when Cody wins the title? You know what's gonna happen? Cody's gonna be champion, and then everybody's gonna get bored of it, and then everybody's gonna want the next guy.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna want the next guy to come up.
I brought this up before. I brought this up multiple times, and it's the fact that we have someone in charge of creative now who tells stories in a very different manner than what we're very much used to. And we're very much used to either not completely not getting, when there's a universal feeling and vibe that something should happen, sometimes it didn't happen, or sometimes a questionable choices were made, and sometimes it just didn't happen at all. But now, and not only that, like, storylines are very quick and over and done with within quite a few months. We're in this new era of WWE where stories are being told over a very long period. We're not talking a couple of months or a half a year. We're talking over an amount of years. Everyone talks all the time about the Bloodline storyline, which is still going on. Let's not forget that Bloodline storyline is still there, right?
Yeah.
And that storyline started whenever Jey Uso faced Roman Reigns in 2020, I think. So, we're talking nearly 4 years ago the Bloodline storyline's been going on.
Might have even been before that,
It
right?
might have been before that. And it's just like, that storyline's been going on for such a long time, and we always just waited and seen, just wait and see what happens. Like, and this is no different. Like, why can't we just wait and see what happens? Like,
hashtag wait and see.
Yeah. And like, proof of that is like, if you haven't seen Raw yet, go and watch Raw. You'll quickly fucking notice that all of that moaning and complaining from Friday onwards last week meant absolutely nothing. Because what did we find out on Raw? That Cody still hasn't got an opponent for WrestleMania, funny enough. That, Raw ended, he still doesn't have an opponent. We now got Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre both getting involved in the world title picture on Raw. So there's that too.
Okay, yeah, I must have missed something.
Right, well... I
missed something. I don't know. I have no idea. The only thing I saw with Sami Zayn in the past few days was that backstage video about his black boxer trunks.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love that. But so, all right, I'll tell you now, but you can go and watch the segment.
Yeah.
It's only very short, but basically they filmed this segment on Raw. I say on Raw. It's basically they filmed it before the fans filed into the arena, so it's filmed up in the stands, and it's him with an interviewer, and he's basically saying in this interview he's done being the underdog. He's always been seen as the underdog. He's like, he'll always wrestle as an underdog, but he's done being seen as an underdog, and he wants to win a world championship.
Yeah, I completely see that must have been cut from the Chintzy Hulu cut from the 90-minute.
Man, that's
Hulu
such an
cut.
important thing. Like, it's such a good little interview and a great little promo, and I'll send it to you after we're done. It's so good, and it's like that makes me think now. I mean, in my mind, if I was to be here we go. Like, I'll say what I think we're going into for WrestleMania, and then I'll ask what your prediction is. But my predictions for me are going to be. I reckon that the Elimination Chamber, we're going to have Sami Zayn versus Drew, because Sami has never beaten Drew, and that Drew's been like a thorn in his side for such a long time. I reckon the winner of that match will then go on to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, because obviously Seth isn't going to be wrestling until WrestleMania with his leg. So I reckon Sami will finally do that, and I reckon Sami will get, because fuck man, we're all thinking about finishing stories. Sami never got to fucking finish his either. Sami lost the Elimination Chamber last year and hasn't been in the title picture since. And we all fucking forgot about that, didn't we? So,
yeah. Hashtag we want Sami's story.
We want Sami. Right. Fuck yeah. So why don't we get Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and have Sami Zayn finish the fucking story? And he can win a world championship. And then Seth clearly needs some fucking time off. So give him some time off after WrestleMania. Easy.
And this also just shows again how much everybody was on Sami's side. Everybody wanted Sami, and then Cody Rhodes shows up again, and it's like, oh, let's just forget about the guy that we've wanted for all this time. Yeah. You know, Sami should have a chip on his shoulder about that too.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I get it.
So,
I totally get it.
My prediction would be. Real quick before I'll just finish off my overall prediction. I reckon Sami versus Sami versus Seth on night 1 for the main event. And then I also think we're going to get Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, and we're going to get we're going to get The Rock versus Roman Reigns one night or another. I reckon we're going to get both matches. But what I do think is we should get The Rock versus Roman on night 1, so The Rock can take out. The Rock will lose, by the way, but The Rock will take out the Bloodline, and then that means for Cody versus Reigns the night after, it will be 1-on-1, and then Cody can finish his fucking story. That's how I see it. It's win-win-win all across the board. No one's a loser.
I've seen the rumblings of people that want to turn it into a triple threat match again or something. You know, that very same thing of like, if Cody wins this match, the Daniel Bryan thing, if you win this match against whomever, then you'll be entered into the championship match as a triple threat match. And sure, they could do that again. And if they do it again, then there's also still shenanigans that can happen.
Exactly.
Because, you know, I see zero chance. We want to talk about zero chance. I don't see any way that Roman Reigns does not walk out still champion. Because that, to me, again, this is where I'm coming from. The story of Roman beating Hogan's record, while there are a lot of people, there very much may be a lot of people that don't actually care about that now. This is long term. I'm thinking of 2034.
Yeah.
When we look back at WrestleMania 50 and see, holy shit, remember when Roman Reigns had the title for like, there is more than just the now. There is so much future ahead that it just seems illogical. It's just so illogical to be stuck on it, you know? I go back. Well, one more thing, because I made the comment before of like the Daniel Bryan thing of the blah blah blah, this and that, the other thing, and how the Yes movement got him to the time. Well, you know what? They were filming a documentary on his road to WrestleMania for an entire year.
Yeah.
Before that. You're telling me that they didn't already have that plan? They've had plans far in advance that they're not going to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because they know a bit of the temporary outrage, which again, the completely expected and totally planned. They knew they knew the reactions, maybe not how far they were going to go, but they knew.
Yeah.
They knew exactly how certain sections of their fan base would react.
Yeah.
It is ludicrous to believe that otherwise, because that's just the truth. That is the truth of it. Talking about The Rock having it in his contract when he signed on his team. That contract wasn't written in a day and signed the next day. Contracts like that take months, which means they knew The Rock. They had been planning on The Rock versus Roman Reigns at Mania for months before this too.
Well, my question I propose to you, is what's your prediction? So you got a world title match, a WWE title match, and The Rock involved. What's your prediction for WrestleMania?
My prediction for Mania. We get.
You've got Cody Rhodes. Where do you put Cody Rhodes?
Yeah. As of right now, the only thing that makes sense is Cody Rhodes versus Seth to me, because Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble. He gets a title shot, the main event of night one.
Yeah.
I still believe, above and beyond anything at all, that The Rock versus Roman Reigns is the main event of night two. Whether they get booed out of the arena or not doesn't matter, because they're used to getting booed out of the arena in Philly. The Rock and Roman Reigns, the last time they were in the ring together, Royal Rumble 2015, they were both booed out of the arena. That's exactly what we're going to get, and it's okay that we're going to get that. It's totally fine that we're going to get that.
And here's a question.
Because that's what they want.
Pertaining to the reaction of the wrestling community over the last few days, if we end up somehow at WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes beats Roman Reigns and ends his reign as WWE champion, and we're there in attendance, are you going to cry about it because it's not what you wanted?
No.
Exactly.
No, I will be thoroughly disappointed that I don't get to see Roman Reigns beat Hulk Hogan's record.
Yeah.
Because that's what I personally would like to see.
Yeah.
I think that is more important than anything, any other person's individual story.
Yeah.
This has been a time period of, and again, they've been building this up over and over and over again. Usos, longest reigning tag team champions of all time. Gunther, longest reigning Intercontinental champion of all time. They've just been the YouTube, the most disliked YouTube video of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
WWE is solidifying. This is them solidifying the fact that this is an entirely new generation. The old, and again, this all also. When you want to talk about, people want to talk about, I'll briefly mention it, but there are of course other people that are saying this is just a distraction away from the stuff with Vince.
Yeah.
No, this has been planned.
Yeah.
The plan has been to solidify that this is no longer Vince's WWE.
Yeah.
Maybe this other controversy was at a very bad time, and maybe all of that stuff, and I don't know. I don't know anything about all of those things other than what I've heard other people talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I will let if there's actually legal investigations into this, which of course there should be, if the things that they said happened were illegal. If there was illegal activity that was done, then that's a job for the actual legal system of our country. That is not for the court of public opinion. That is not for you can talk about and it's always good to talk about these things, and it's always good to say there's some bad things going. And I'm sure there are so many people that if you look at any of those people, there are probably dozens of people that have done shitty things. You want to talk about, hey, Xavier Woods had sex with Saraya on the NXT Divas with using the NXT Divas Championship. And they were both in relationships with other people at the time, I think. Like,
I think
there
so,
was,
yeah.
And wasn't there like a threesome involved in that?
Brad Maddox.
Yeah. Is no one outraged about that? Is no one dragging? Why isn't that being drug up into the conversation? Obviously there is a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that no one outside of those involved have seen.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with the storylines and the matches in the ring. And that's the kind of stuff that I want to keep out of it because this isn't a smokescreen for this, because this has been in the works for way longer than the scandal that broke.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to talk about that anymore, because that's not what we're here. We're here to talk about wrestling. This is Punks Talk Wrestling, not Punks Talk Scandals.
Yeah. But I think the overall arcing thing here is like, so generally my prediction for WrestleMania and your prediction for WrestleMania are very different. And you want Roman Reigns to beat the Hulk Hogan's record. I'd love to see that too, but I'd be totally happy with Cody beating Roman at WrestleMania if that ends up happening this year. The good thing is we're friends. We're going to WrestleMania together, and regardless of the outcome, we're going to have a good time and be happy regardless.
Yes, back to that initial point, and I will mirror that, and I will amplify the positivity voice. I get to, for the second time, I get to see WrestleMania with my son.
Yeah,
in our hometown, with my tag team podcast partner, with several of my closest friends who have been there for much longer stories, because we were there at Royal Rumble 2015 live.
Yeah.
So I get to see this. I get to see the culmination of all of this, and I am grateful for that. I'm thankful that I get to witness all of these things in person with some of the closest people in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no outcome of any match that is going to
overcome that.
That is going to overshadow the fact that this is an event. This is an event for us. This is for us, and we are going to enjoy it because we get to enjoy it.
And not only that, you know what? You got to think the Roman Reigns' reign right now is probably the closest thing we have in the wrestling world to the Undertaker's streak. Now, if I'm in live attendance for when that reign comes to an end, I mean, that would be a pretty cool thing to say you were there for.
There is. I want to throw this. I want to put this out there as a complete curveball, because you want to talk about prediction, not just predictions, but here's another thing that no one has mentioned.
Okay.
The title that Roman Reigns currently carries is a unified title between the WWE Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Universal Championship.
Yeah.
The actual title reign started with the Universal Championship.
It did, yeah.
there may be a win for everyone here. Cody challenges, if it comes down to it, like you say, you want to see Cody walk away with 2 titles? Cody can walk away with potentially walk away with Seth's World Heavyweight Championship and the now ununified WWF Championship, leaving Roman Reigns still holding the Universal title.
I guess so. It's out there. It's possible, but it's out there.
It is out there.
So that at this point, I don't know if you've noticed, but they've stopped referring to it as the Undisputed Universe, whatever they were called. It's now just called the WWE Championship again, which is great because it just makes it a lot easier to say. But yeah, they've started referring to that championship that Roman holds now. They just call it the WWE Championship. That's what their terminology is for it now.
Because WWE Undisputed Universal World Heavyweight Title Championship is too much. Yeah. Hashtag too much. Shit. I think we've said all we have to say about that.
I think so.
Now.
Yeah.
The only thing else we've got to talk about is tell all of our listeners to follow us on social media and leave your reviews. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Punks Talk Wrestling. Patreon.com/Punks Talk Wrestling, where you can listen to all of our uncut episodes.
I'm very eager to, on our social media, I tried the other day, and obviously, we're a very small podcast, humble beginnings, but I really...
Still top 1%. We are still a top 1% podcast.
And we'll never get that taken away, in fact, because we've already written past it. By the way, happy 6 months. 26th episode, halfway through a year.
That was another thing that we didn't... Yes, this is officially our 6-month anniversary episode.
Crazy. Yeah. 26
episodes in 26 weeks.
Yeah. Not missed one.
Not missed a single one.
Nope.
Also, real quick, while we're talking about podcasts, I wanted to give a shout out to the Troubles with Weekly Wrestling podcast. They're one of our new followers on Threads. We follow them back. Had some great discourse between the two of us on what we think. So once you're done listening to us, and you want even more, because we know the only thing that wrestling fans want more of is more, either watching more wrestling or listening to more people talk about wrestling. Go listen to the Troubles with Weekly Wrestling podcast, because they have totally different views on us. They also delve into a lot of different things that are not just WWE centric.
Yeah.
And seems like cool. Seems like they're pretty cool. Cool to us. And I mean, our opinion is the only opinion that matters to us.
But what I was going to say is, I would really like, I would really want some more fan requested episodes. I think that would be a lot of fun to see what people want.
You can't see what I'm doing right here because there's no video, but I'm excitedly spinning my finger around in the air because we do have a fan request.
Say what?
From Big Dad's 84.
Oh shit, okay.
Big Dad's with a Z. Big Dad's 84 on Threads wants us to talk about the God King of Pro Wrestling, Samoa Joe.
Oh, okay, cool.
This is totally off the side tangent. But
totally off the side tangent, yeah.
What we have said is that if you tell us what you want, if you come onto our social media and you say, Punks Talk Wrestling, give me what I want. Give me what I want, Punks Talk Wrestling. Give me what I want. Tell us what you want, and we're going to give it to you.
That's right.
So what I think we are going to do, your favorite Samoa Joe match, doesn't matter if it's WWE, TNA, AEW, Ring of Honor.
Whatever it is, we'll fucking watch that shit. Yeah. And plus, you ain't got to ask me twice to watch a Samoa Joe match, so.
Yeah. But there you go. We, Punks Talk Wrestling, are going to give you what you want. I don't know. That's a little, maybe I'm overdoing it a little bit.
That's your third time today.
How about this? Let's work ourselves into a shoot here. You want a top 10 greatest Samoa Joe matches? And we'll just pick them. It won't be the top 10. We'll just pick. We'll pick 10 match. We'll come up with what we think, just by the match itself, what we think are the best, and we'll watch a bunch of Samoa Joe matches and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's.
How
that's
about
fair.
that? I think we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Do you have a proper prick punks pick?
No, I don't. But I'm sure I could figure something out very quickly because
See if you can get a hashtag PPPP in the next couple minutes. I mean, we've got all the time we want. We can just keep keep rolling. We can
PPPP.
yeah, hashtag PPPP.
You know what? Yeah, I do. So this week for my the proper pricks punk picks, there is a band I'm sure a lot of people probably have heard of, but they maybe not. I don't know. They're called Cigar. They recently signed with Fat Records. And I'm struggling. There we go. They recently signed with Fat Records. They recently, a couple of years ago, released an album called The Visitor. I really like the album cover as well. Check that out. But they are just an incredible band. Just a 3-piece, guitar, bassist, and drummer. Been around for quite some time as well. But they are incredibly fucking fast. And the bassist is a absolute fucking monster. So I really do highly recommend them. They are from Oregon originally, but relocated to California in 1998, if you wanted to know. So I guess Oregon by the way of Californian band. So Cigar, and just for a fucking cheap plug, because I'm allowed to. There's another band you should check out, and they're called Riverside Odds. And if you didn't know, well, that's R.W. Heilborn's band, which I believe has been going since what year would you say that was?
Oh, 2013.
2013.
In our 11th year.
I was going to say 2012. I was close. Yes, 2013 they've been around. So obviously from Philadelphia. How would you describe your band, Ralph?
We play rock and roll songs about rock and roll things.
There you go. And what more do you need in your life? To be honest with you,
I know it's funny because it is hilarious that even with an additional platform, I have an adversity of like talking about myself in that way.
Well, I've done it for you.
But yeah, well, thanks. I appreciate it, brother.
So yeah,
see, that's what's good about having a tag team podcast partner. Someone that will we hype each other up. Man. Hey man, while we're talking about putting each other over, you want to check out some other music? Check out CJ Newman's previous bands. I'm allowed to plug them, right?
Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah, now
I've signed a legally binding contract.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to be done.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, go for it.
First of all, the first band that you were in when we first met, Mealy Mouth.
That's right, yeah.
Still, that still comes up every once in a while, and I'm like, yeah, I forget which one it was because I saw it come up, and I was just like, man, I missed that. That was such a good EP. What was
tiny little EP? Yeah.
Yeah. And then your second band, Snap Out, who released your album was all based on Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
That's right.
Was an absolute gem of creativity and punk rock goodness. So definitely check out Snap Out.
Yeah.
You guys had a pretty big.
We did a couple. We opened for Get Dead, who were on Fat Wreck.
That's it. Yeah.
We opened for Authority Zero.
We also opened for Authority Zero.
No
in Philly.
fucking way.
Yeah. We've got more connections.
And we also opened for Arnocore, who are like a kind of like a weird like punk rock / metal Arnold Schwarzenegger themed band.
Right. Another one, yes. And but they are fully Arnold Schwarzenegger
committed.
themed band.
Yeah,
Yours
themed
was just
band.
an Arnold
Just an
Schwarzenegger
album.
movie themed album.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there you go. There's my proper pricks punk picks. So
Hashtag PPPP.
yeah, PPPP.
Yeah.
So that'd be Cigar, Snap Out, Meaty Mouth, and of course Riverside Odds.
Yeah. All right. That's that.
Intro time.